Ah, yes. Welcome to Couch Pilots. All of you are my friends. The show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason. I'm also known as the Black Bungee Jumper, and with me, as always, is my extreme sports enthusiast. His name is Captain Philip Restisher.
Extreme sports, not for me. Roller coasters, no thank you. Bungee, ziplining, no thank you.
Hold on, you call
I went in the ocean, scuba diving one time, was scared to death. I don't want to do any of that crap. I know.
You call scuba diving and roller coasters extreme sports?
I think yes.
Okay, all right.
I think scuba diving or snort. I wasn't even scuba diving. I was just snorkeling
on the surface of the water.
For a guy that doesn't know how to swim very well,
not a good idea.
And a guy that knows exactly what a jellyfish will do to you, and was having to try to, without being able to swim, dodge his body around jellyfish. There was this beautiful coral reef, and I was like, "This sucks. I want back." I look up, and the boat is nowhere near me. I'm out of gas. Right? I can't. I was like, I'm trying to like there's like a jellyfish like 2 inches from my
and you're
nipple.
in the ocean.
I'm in the Gulf.
It's infinite depth below you.
Oh yeah,
it's terrifying.
Yeah, you ever seen The Abyss?
Whew. No, I never watch it.
And that was
Ed Harris.
That was a girl named Nicole. We went. That's where I got sick the last.
You went with a girl named Nicole to see it.
I went with a girl named Nicole into this all-inclusive island. Or not island, all-inclusive restaurant.
Oh, here's the baggage boy real quick.
Baggage boy is here.
Come here. Eli, the baggage boy. Come here. How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
You look great. What is this you're wearing? Is this a gi?
No, it's my karate uniform.
Are you going through puberty?
Very much so.
You sound like a man now. You're a man.
Thank you.
All right, you can beat it.
Get out of here. You look great.
Good to see you, buddy.
I told you not to wear that karate outfit to work.
Yeah, I don't know.
But see, we gave him that blue and red striped
it's
belt.
Our fault.
Yeah,
we're reaping what we've sown.
Right, because we were like, okay, instead of getting promoted, we're just going to give him different colored belts.
There was a man just killed at Cape Cod from a shark attack.
Really?
Yeah.
Just now?
I know a couple days ago. Well, at the time of this, maybe a few weeks ago. But yes, I called you.
Just like Jaws.
Let me tell you a secret. Yeah, it was because it was up in the Cape Cod. It's northeast. That's exactly right.
And I saw that movie recently.
And you were not impressed, which is like.
No.
Beyond, like, I cannot comprehend what your issue are. I don't even want to get into that. I do want to. This is something I want to get off my chest real quick. We have a guest, and we'll get to you. All right, we'll get to you, sir. That's fine. Thank you. But I have something I want to get off my chest, if I can. All right, I'm an old man now. All right. I used to be younger, and I went to college at one point, and I had to take a speech class. Yeah, everyone had to take a speech class.
Sure.
They said most kids wait, and they do the speech class at the end. Okay. And I was a little older than everyone, maybe like a year or two older than everyone. And I was kind of the class cut up. I was funny, right?
Really? You were funny?
Right. Not now.
Man,
yeah.
I wish we would have podcast back when you were in high
school. If only we had the technology back then.
The technology?
Oh, if we only had the tectonic plates back then to shift the earth and its crust. But no, this is I took this speech class and I said a joke out loud once and it bombed and it's always stuck with me. This how flat this joke fell, and it had to do with extreme sports enthusiasts.
All right, go for it. And welcome to the stage, Jason.
Okay, it was basically the teacher was teaching. All right, and then I said a joke. She said something about like talking about advertising with a speech. It says who drinks Mountain Dew. That's what she said, and I yelled mountain climbers, which was a terrible joke. I yelled that out. And no one said anything, and I felt immediate shame. But what I should have said was extreme sports enthusiast, because I don't know if you remember the campaign at the time. It was just a bunch of people doing radical things.
Sure, like snowboarding.
And
skiing,
and roller coasters, and
dude, they're scuba diving. Why would you do that? To me, the most extreme thing I've ever done is flying an airplane.
But that has always stuck with me. That like. This is the joke that
I'm surprised
super bombed, and I should have said this. It would have made more sense.
Right. But what amazes me is that this bombed joke in high school has carried...
College.
Oh, sorry. College. At ICC, it's kind of like advanced high school.
Maybe you should fuck yourself.
But, like... You've had so many jokes since then that bombed that I'm amazed that one has stuck with you.
And what does that say about you to allow me 200 episodes of IBWIP to allow me to bomb time after time?
Well, this is the way I look at it, right?
Yeah, let's hear this.
If you bomb,
yeah.
and when I bomb it, it's not near as bad. You know what I mean? It's like you have two.
Don't look at him. Look at me.
You have two stupid people doing something. They don't look as bad as if one stupid person was doing.
So
something.
I'm the patsy. All right. I'm the scapegoat.
Patsy Cline. You're crazy.
I've done bungee jumping. Let's bring our guest. He's one of our favorites. He's
Oh,
always
yes.
the most prepared. He's got something very bizarre we'll get into here shortly. Let's welcome back to the program. His name is Matthew.
What
Yes.
is up?
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
There's a couple things. There's a couple rules when Matt's on.
You got a couple rules. Ready?
Right?
Can't say go fuck yourself. I already said.
And I didn't. And you can't say that about the Lakers to tell them to go do that to themselves either.
They don't call me Sister Matt for nothing.
They don't call you. But here's the thing.
He drinks Shirley Temples all
Like,
the time.
I love Matt. Like, Matt is a great guy. And, like, when anybody else is around, I don't feel like a shitty person, right?
Right.
Because I hang out with shitty people.
I've told him this is not a compliment.
That's why I'm here.
No, it's a big, in my opinion, it's a big
It's
compliment.
the compliment.
But this guy, when he's around, I enjoy his company, and for the most part, I behave.
You are a better person for having done so.
And he makes me a better person.
That's what exactly.
Unlike you.
Right. I drag you down to my level.
Right. That's why I don't hang out with you outside of podcasting.
We got into that last week.
Matt, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We know that the Lakers are your favorite team, but we're going to go ahead and just skip that.
Actually, let's not skip that.
He's been on this show like 46 times, I think.
Well, I don't think he's been on since they announced that LeBron James is going to.
Yeah.
But hold on a second. Like, LeBron James is Barack Hussein Obamacare, right? Like, Barack was like 8 years a president, not unlike a slave, and no problems, no controversy, no scandals, a scandal-free presidency. Yep. Kobe rapes a woman in her butt, all right? And then he has problems, but like LeBron James has done nothing, right? He's pretty much scandal-free since 2003.
Yeah.
That's fair to say, right?
That is very fair to say.
Okay, but you have beef with him.
I do, and I'm not entirely sure how much of it. Boy, how much of this do? How far?
We have unlimited time.
How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? But my pause with LeBron James from the beginning has been when he tattooed his back, Witness and King James. He hadn't played one quarter of professional basketball.
Maybe he's confident.
No,
Maybe he's a dumb 18-year-old kid, too.
Right?
I get that.
Here, look at the tattoo on my back.
Let's see yours.
See how it says 2 million downloads?
Boy.
We're
a scant 1,200 years away from that.
Oh, boy. But you know what? Good. Honestly, on some level, good for the Lakers. I think this is more about LeBron figuring out how to not lose in the finals. And go out and... I mean, the craziness is that there's this stigma around losing in the finals, and somehow a playoff loss is not as bad.
I've got 3
quotations
rings
here. He does.
2 with the Heat,
Yeah.
1 with
and
the
if
Cavs.
Chris Bosh doesn't knock it,
Chris Bosh, 1 in the stick.
yeah. So I know this is
LeBron.
I know this is boring your fans here
Not
that
at
don't
all.
care about the NBA.
We don't have fans.
They're a bunch of
But
dicks.
you know, LeBron James can go do whatever he wants in LA. It's the Warriors to lose. Have a nice day.
Okay. The Warriors really have created something unprecedented,
monster.
right? It's unbelievable.
It is a monster.
So unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Steve Kerr's my spirit animal.
He's great. He's got damn near 2 fists full of rings at this point. He's got like 7 or 8.
Outside of Jordan, I would ask for a better basketball resume than Steve Kerr.
He's got 3 with the Bulls, and then he's got like what 2 with San Antonio,
2 with the Spurs.
Okay, and then like another 2 or 3 with the Golden State.
Now he's got 3 with Golden State.
He's got 8. Every single
Fill
one
him
of his
up.
fingers, no thumbs, has freaking rings.
He does not have opposable thumbs.
Where's he going to put the next one?
I don't know, Blake.
Is it like a penis? Probably.
Hey, it's more of a question than it's a comment.
Maybe it's
thing.
rhetorical. Yeah.
It's a retarded question.
Have you ever done extreme sports? I know you.
None that I can think
You
of.
really have done the Iron Man twice.
Yeah, that's extreme.
Pretty extreme.
It does take a special.
Not only have
yeah.
you done it, but you've completed it twice.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Have you ever not completed it?
No.
No.
No,
you've
both of them. Yep.
You've completed them.
And not only that, but you've done a number of triathlons and you've completed all of those.
Yeah.
You've not once failed a race you've entered.
No, sir. No, I've finished. As a matter of fact, my goal for Maryland was to get into the top 40%, and that's what I was able to do.
Wow.
Back
Pretty
in
incredible.
October.
It is
Yep.
extreme.
Pretty incredible.
Because for one, I can't swim, so again, very extreme.
Sinks like a stone.
For two, I'm not good at physical stuff. I know that you can't just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to sign up for this and do it. You know what I mean?
Well, for the Ironman?
Yeah.
I remember way back when I worked at Cat, I'd be there with Matt, and we were like a year and a half, 2 years out. We go to lunch. He's like, "I'm gonna have a salad today," and he said, "I'll have a salad every day for the next 10 years," because he was preparing himself for that race. He had prepared years out. You cannot wake up and just decide to do
Right.
it. It is a thing where you have to set goals and look into the future and do it, and that's exactly
You
what
have
he
to
did.
push yourself. At one point, obviously, you had runner's high. At one
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, what is that? What is that like? I've never been high in my life. I've never done drugs. I've never been high. What is that like to get a? You've been more high than I have.
For sure. Yeah. It's more like an adrenaline rush. It's this like tipping point where your body is screaming and saying,
I want to die.
I can't go any further. I can't go any further. And then it's odd. It's like something just snaps. And for
Is it a release of endorphins?
It is, and I've heard some people say it feels like things are going numb. I don't know if that's the case necessarily, but it is euphoric in a way. It's a little bit of it's an adrenaline rush is what it is.
It's all muscle memory.
It's all,
right?
oh my gosh.
You just
yeah.
like everything shuts down and your body just says, "We know what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
I guess we'll do it."
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
because like mentally, I mean, you probably don't even see where you're running. You're just running.
No, there's a lot of truth to that. At some point during
And then
the
you
race,
snap out of it, and you have to go in a porta potty. And
you remember all that?
Yeah,
Remember that?
Oh, believe me, I remember that.
Screamed at the top of my lungs, and there are people holding their beers outside of this porta potty.
The closest I ever came to extreme sports is I went on a bungee jumping thing at Six Flags.
Really?
Yeah.
No, thank
It's
you.
called the Dragon's Wing. They put you in a thing and they lift you up in the air and then they just drop you and you kind of fall
No.
and swing.
No.
Bungee jumping used to be. I feel like that was huge growing up. Like that was almost the
Pretty nuts, man.
peak of. But now this bungee jumping, like say off a bridge, that's been
It's
around
terrifying.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about these people who get in these fucking squirrel suits?
Yes.
Have you seen that shit?
Yes, I have
You
seen
jump
that.
off a bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And you basically
You
glide.
glide. You glide.
And honestly, I think I heard there was like a 10% death rate on it. Like 1 out of 10
Worth
times, you're not going to make it.
No.
You've seen these videos. People
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
GoPros, right? It's insane.
Yeah.
It's the closest we get to a human being flying. Which actually leads me to the next thing. Today we're talking about a superhero show, right? It's called Power Pack.
Nerds.
But no, you're a nerd. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, that's good.
I know mine. You know. You should.
I haven't
know,
thought
you,
about it, so I want to answer on the spot. But once
You've
you
thought
guys
about it?
No, I haven't in a long time.
You want me to go
It's
first?
been
You
a
have
long
12
time.
minutes?
You
Yeah,
go
please,
first,
please,
Captain.
please.
I want to be able to read people's minds. You know me. You know my
Insecurities?
insecurities, my
Low self-esteem?
low self-esteem, my
Bastardization?
my inability to have any confidence or
Sure.
positive thoughts.
Right,
So
right.
I want to be able to read people's minds.
But do you want to like manipulate their minds?
No. I don't want to be involved in that shit. That's way too much to handle.
I feel like
just want to know what they're thinking.
That's the worst thing you
No,
can do.
it's not.
If you can't manipulate their minds and you can only, because all you're going to do is like self-perpetuate this lack of self-esteem.
but this way, I'll be correct every time, as opposed to
So
wasting.
you'd rather be miserable and correct than have a...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's exactly correct.
To me,
that's exactly
that is
right.
Utopia. By the way, Utopia, the best reality show ever.
Hi, Amanda. Matthew, are you still thinking about it?
I
Okay.
am. Go ahead.
I will go ahead. I'm kind of at a tipping point. I'm not so entrenched in superheroes and comic books that I know every single. Are you going to the bathroom?
No.
Okay. I don't know every power that's available or that's been thought of by some nerd, drawing at a desk. But two heroes that I love. One is Wolverine, and I know Matthew, you love Wolverine as well. And something else I love.
Blake Clayton.
I love Blake Clayton. So if I could have if I could have.
Well,
You've got
You know what's
the
funny?
insecurities of Blake Clayton and the regenerative powers of Wolverine.
I want the regenerative powers of Blake Clayton. I love. There's a movie coming about this character very soon. His name is Venom.
oh yeah.
That looks
I love that.
it looks good.
I love the idea of, because basically Venom is an alien living in him. It makes him super strong.
It's really dark, and when you actually go down that
Oh yeah,
that path,
and it gives him these. He's a lethal enforcer, which means he's kind of like the Punisher, and he kills the bad guy. He doesn't apprehend them and bring them to justice. He murders them.
Nice.
But the alien living in him is his clothes. So yeah, essentially you have an unlimited wardrobe, which is fantastic. Second, the ability to heal rapidly, super strength. You can stick to walls and like shoot web out and about, or some version of that.
But does the Venom live in a house with a full-size bed?
Oh boy, good question. I think he's probably living in a hammock situation. If he can do web, it's probably all hammocks all the
he's
time.
hammock
what did I
shit.
miss here?
He always likes to poke fun at me in my full size bed.
Okay.
This is never mind. I don't want to get into that. That's a low blow. So anyway, I will say Venom. I'll go Venom.
Yeah.
We're gonna say low blow. Go ahead.
Making fun of me, a guy who's got a full size bed, versus the man I ask where his wife is. He has no idea.
But you got that laugh out of it. I at least need one of those.
Got the
That
snidely
was better than
whiplash.
high school, wasn't it? On that
the
joke.
wheezy laugh. Yeah.
I got better than my bomb in high school speech class. All right, Matt, you've had some time to marinate. Give it to us raw.
Well, a huge Wolverine fan, but to be honest, his powers aren't what draws me to the character. So I keep coming back to Nightcrawler. Have you guys seen that guy in action? Like, it's almost
Sure.
interdimensional how he'll teleport from one end of the room.
It actually very much is interdimensional.
Yeah. So that language has been used for his superpower? I
Yes.
don't remember that, yeah.
I watched an episode there's a cartoon in the early aughts about the X-Men, and the Professor X said, hey, you know what I want to do when I want to find out where you go when you teleport. And it turns out it is another brimstone kind of dimension.
Love it.
And so it is interdimensional.
Love it.
So it's funny you say that.
Yeah.
All right, assholes.
Everything
Bunch
okay?
of fucking nerds. Let's get down to it.
No, he
Ears are bleeding.
So
Yeah.
you want the ability to
by
teleport.
far, absolutely.
That's a great one, because you could, like, you say, you know what I want to do?
He'd win every Iron Man competition.
Well, it'd be great. It'd be like,
Finish in
boom,
8 seconds, yeah.
you know what I want? You want to eat right now? A French baguette. Okay, let's go down to Panera.
Hey,
Fuck
hey.
that! I'll just go to France and get the baguette, where it's not called French at all. It's just called a baguette.
A French baguette. We are a week away from CouchCon 2018. Our biggest event every year. Everybody looks forward to it.
Second annual.
Madison Square Garden, October 15th, 16th, and 17th. That's a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday.
I still can't believe it wasn't booked, though, that you guys got that.
Well, that's why we got those days.
Yeah, that's why we got those days. Just letting everybody know again, I'm booked up on the front end and the back end of this week.
He's not available to hang out.
Not available to hang out. So I will be taking a red eye Sunday night after bowling. Taking a red eye to New York.
Yeah.
Going to CouchCon. Wednesday night, got to take that red eye back because Thursday I got a bowl.
Yep.
Man,
That's exactly
But
right.
but I'm going to do that. But Matt,
commitment.
last year you didn't go.
I couldn't go.
Right.
I was there in spirit, but I couldn't.
in spirit.
Right.
But this year, oddly enough, you would think you're going to have a baby soon.
Yep.
You wouldn't be able to go, but you will be there
That's amazing.
with your betrothed.
When does that baby
because-
due?
October 12th, right?
All right,
I
so
mean,
this is the 15th, 16th, and 17th.
that's right.
right
so
there.
I've asked Heather to kindly.
Hold it in.
Suck it up. No, well, you're going to be there.
I should have said either of those. What I said, I can't
Stick
repeat.
a cork in it.
Don't be selfish. Something like that.
This isn't about you, is what I told her.
Right. This is CouchCon. It happens once a year.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't about you. It's about me, and it's about what I have to teach. And what
I said I've asked these guys for a birthing suite, and I'm not gonna have them go to all that trouble.
I forgot it was birthing.
Stick a cork in it.
Don't make this about you.
Yeah.
You know what?
What's
to be
that?
honest with you,
I'll give you one guess how well it went over.
but you know what? I'm the kind of you would never say that. You would never say that.
No, I told her that's what I wanted to say.
Right.
But see, that's how I got around it.
Right.
You know what I want to say right now, and then I say
And
it.
I'm gonna judge your reaction, and
Sure.
then I'm gonna tell you what I should have
Right.
said. But me, even in that situation, right now, if Molly was pregnant,
Right.
and she was on this show,
Yeah.
I would say that just for the bit.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I have ended relationships for a bit.
Oh yeah,
I have.
you almost ended my marriage before it even happened for a bit.
For a bit, absolutely.
To stick a good joke.
Yeah, absolutely. I am, and you know what?
Because he's so traumatized by that high school speech. Mountain Dew,
Gotta
mountain climbers. Heyo.
I wish we were streaming this live right now.
I don't think that's the case.
Could see that
Oh,
face.
boy, but I'm excited for CouchCon. You're going to have the birthing suites. You're going to have a Lamaze class because
Yep.
I mean, you sell out Madison Square Garden. You're going to have a few pregnant people there.
Sure.
and
Oh,
of
no
course
doubt.
they're going to benefit from Lamaze.
Yeah.
And when is that slated? That's one of the early mornings, isn't it?
I asked for
Ooh.
the 4 to 5 a.m. slot. Is that still?
That's on Sunday, Sunday early morning. Yeah, Matt's birthing Lamaze is Sunday. Not Sunday, Wednesday
I was
morning.
going to say.
It's prior to the contest
Yeah.
seminar and then the wedding.
We record these back to back, man. I don't know if you're aware, but and I want you. Hopefully, you won't get yourself involved with this. We have started a contest where people will send in essays, and some of our frequent flyers, 2 of them, will be able to host couch pilots in the very near future.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Blake and I will be the guests. We're just going to sit back and lavish in what they've
Fuck
done.
around and
Yeah,
bring
you don't have to
bring
be nerdy about it.
Bring Comic-Con cards and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So
what is this card you
Talk
brought with
about
you?
our favorite
You guys think
basketball
it's a?
teams.
You guys think it's a? I really just use this
is
place for my own musings.
the platform to hate on the Lakers. No, but you brought something with you that's very interesting to me.
These are
not so
this-
much to Blake, but to me.
This is my blood work, actually, that they gave me.
Oh yes,
After went
you
to
are
see
not
Dr.
the father.
went to see Dr. Turok, and he gave me this as
Big shout out to Dr. Turok.
big shout out to. He's a
Hashtag him on
big
this, will you?
listener. Yeah. And I was a little bit puzzled because we talked about how my hemoglobin
Right.
hemoglobin
yes.
was through the roof.
Oh, so
Yeah.
much globin.
That they were a little concerned about it, so they didn't feel like they got that through to me. So this time, instead of my blood work, they just gave me this.
You reached your
I
maximum
can't say
capacity.
anything. I have to allow that laugh to.
It's pretty infectious.
That they instead gave me a 1994 Flair Marvel Universe Hobgoblin.
Now this is because your insurance ran out. Is that right? Is that why they gave you that instead of actual blood work? Or,
Thanks a lot, Obama.
Yeah.
Well, no, they let me do the blood work, but instead they couldn't put in the time for actual. They couldn't put in time for actual like blood work results.
I didn't know you back then in '94. You and I simultaneously had collected comic cards because I think we've gone through each other's collections before. I still have mine at home.
Yeah.
I have like probably about 92 to 94, just like you, a few sets of like cards that I collected at the local comic book / baseball / pornography shop.
It's almost eerie because
Big,
that's
books
almost
and stuff.
exactly
Books
my
and stuff,
experience.
right?
Yes,
what I was
absolutely.
doing in Indianapolis, he was doing back here.
It's funny because Bill Starr.
Yeah.
He's a dead guy now.
Yeah.
He died.
So we can talk about him.
Well, and I used to go to his son was in Matten's grade in high school. His name was Nate Starr.
Nate Starr.
Yeah, he was an odd fellow. He was a kid who kind of
Kind of kept to himself.
a little. He's an odd guy. I went through all of grade school and in high school with him. He had like a ska phase and a goth phase. It's like he was one of the guys who really did goth. It was very bizarre. Anyhow, his dad owned a shop called Books and Stuff, and I'd always go down there and buy. I'd mow grass. I'd get some money. I'd go down there, and with that money, I'd buy comic book
Right
cards.
by the Eagles, though.
Yes,
Yes,
right
I
down
do
there.
remember this.
And
now.
across was
Yep.
Little Caesars back when they would give you would order a pizza and you would get 2 pizzas on a big cardboard.
The Bigfoot pizza.
See, I don't
No,
remember.
no,
a
no.
little-
These were just
No?
regular, but it was a cardboard and then they just put them in a bag.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely. I
God
remember
damn, I'm right.
that. I don't think it was down there though.
It was right across from Books and Stuff. I know it was.
No, it wasn't.
You know where the
Like where
Blockbuster?
the-
But that's not where Books and Stuff was. When I was growing up, it was right across from where I lived by the Taco John's. It used to be down there by Eagles.
Yeah,
grocery
but then he
store.
moved uptown.
He moved around the
Okay.
corner, and then he moved downtown. You're right. But when I grew up, it was right across the street from me. And then he bought into like I don't know why we're talking about this so much. But he bought
go.
into the Casey's gas station for a few years, and then he died.
So Matt,
Yeah.
with a child coming,
Yep.
right? Does your wife ever go, "Hey, we need to go baby shopping"?
You mean like things for the baby?
Yeah. What does your baby need?
Well, because I'm just next time your wife goes, "Hey, we need to go baby shopping."
No, I told her that I'd be at the podcast tonight and I'd come home with everything we need to have this child.
Well, Next time she says, "Hey Matt, we got to go baby shopping," go, "What's wrong with the one we got coming?"
See, that's what I thought you were doing. I should have just gone along with. Darn
You
it!
should just let me have
I
it.
should have just let you have.
God,
No,
I feel
was
like I'm
too
in high
focused
school
on
in
it.
speech class. That was the greatest
It's your
story
own
ever.
club now being used against you.
All
Joey.
right, all
I'll
right.
Tell you what.
You got a hobgoblin.
Well, yeah, but
mint
like they say,
condition card.
It's the spirit of what we're doing. We're talking about superpowers and comic books
That's right.
today.
So I brought this to really, I don't know, to maybe build a foundation for the rest of this podcast.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's the Mountain Dew.
Can we just move along?
Let's move along. Push the button.
Push
won't
the
you?
button.
All right, this is gonna get loud. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over till we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no! And it ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
The Hobbit.
What the fuck happened to the Delta I used to know? Where's the spirit? Where's the guts, huh? This could be the greatest night of our lives, but you're gonna let it be the worst? Oh, we're afraid to go with you, Bluto. We might get in trouble. Well, just kiss my ass from now on! Not me! I'm not gonna take this! Wormer, he's a dead man! Marmalade, dead! Niedermeyer, dead! Let's do it! Go! 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 Go!
That's Animal House.
Yeah, it is.
What is happening right now?
That's from Animal House.
Molly just texted me. She said, "Shut the fuck up, Jason."
Did she really?
No,
Well, tell her.
she doesn't tell me to do that.
Tell her I wish I knew where she was, because she sure as hell isn't at her house.
No, everybody knows that. That's Animal House. Great movie. But one thing, is when you do that monologue, are you wanting to promote Animal House, which is a movie that's been out for years and years, or are you trying to tie it back to the one, the only, Couch Pilots?
It's always about that. I did well over 100 episodes where I said, let me write something that's, funny, but also ties into what we do. I ran out of ideas, okay?
Just like in speech class in high school.
I don't like that. I don't like that you said that. I opened my heart to you, and something that it's
He chose to be vulnerable.
it wore on my shoulders
That's his fault.
for years, and I opened myself up to you, and this is how it's received.
He thought this was the sharing tree.
Well, just kiss my ass then! I think these monologues open up more. They just open up discussions about what Couch Pilots is.
Definitely. It's a party. Animal House is about a party.
Yeah.
It's about outcasts
All right.
that band together
Yep.
and party. And it's about Otis, my man.
Today we discuss the pilot episode of Power Pack from the year of our Lord 1900 and 91. That was a great year.
Good year for the roses. That was what, my freshman year?
Freshman, yeah.
No, I was a sophomore, so Angie Vecco. This is prime Angie Vecco time again.
This is the time where you surveyed the land. You said, "What is out there? I'm not a freshman anymore. Now it's time to
I got a
crank it
car.
up."
I got a car. It's time to. I'm balls deep in being a crew leader at McDonald's. I'm balling it, obviously. And there she was in that drive-through,
Taking orders.
taking orders
Taking
with her
some-
cute little face and cute little squeaky voice.
I want to see a picture of this lady. Is she the one who's a security guard now?
Yeah, but
Oh, I
she's
don't
like-
want to see that again. Then.
She
Never
doesn't
mind.
look pretty now, but she was cute back then.
Find me a picture of her back then. Get your old high school yearbook out.
We didn't go to the same high school.
1991. I was 10.
I was 16 and 17, my little rock and roll queen.
Matt was 9, if I'm not
9.
mistaken.
Aw.
Where?
Like at 9.
Where were you in Indianapolis still at 9 years old?
Yes, I was 9. We would have been in Speedway in Indianapolis. Yep.
So the whole year you were 9, you were at the Speedway.
It was a long. We got. Yeah, we were. I was there.
Was
yeah.
your mom a popcorn
Early
salesman?
bird gets the
It
worm.
was a hell of a race.
That's right.
I kissed
where we
the
got my-
bricks and drank the milk.
That's where I got my spirit to race.
I wish someone would erase my spirit. 1991, I remember it pretty well. I was there. I lived it. You probably remember it even more well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what your feelings are about it, Matthew, but we're not there now.
Right. This is
It's not
2018. I mean, come on.
It's a lifetime apart for some people, right? But that's when this pilot came out, so we have to think about this in that term. So we have to go back there in our minds. And we do so by talking about events that happened in that year to put us back there so we can accurately and fairly judge this pilot.
Sure. Yeah, because back in 1991, there was no Courtney Cox. There was no Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, I wish there was.
There was no Metamucil. There was definitely no Band-Aids.
Yeah. All things that we take for granted now.
Sure. I mean, how often do you put a this weekend?
Every day.
This weekend, I cut my finger.
Yeah.
And I just got a Band-Aid out. Didn't even think about it. But
yeah.
1991, no Band-Aids.
Okay. Okay. We went back there in our minds a little bit. I'm going to say some stuff that'll get us back there more so. But pretend you're a 91 right now. You cut yourself. What do?
You suck the blood until it stops, until it clots.
That's right, because there's no Band-Aids.
Right.
October 1st, Howard Stern adds Baltimore to his radio network, WJFK AM.
AM radio. Howard Stern.
Yeah.
That was before he just totally just blew up, right?
I think it's well on his way up.
Okay.
I think he was late 80s, and then through the early to mid-90s, it's just skyrocket to stardom. Matthew, Howard Stern?
Boy, I wish I could really contribute here. I guess his later stuff is really what I thought, I don't know. I'm thinking like
Private Parts? That was his book?
No,
and then
but
movie.
Dr. Judy, or what was going on around, I don't know, those early 90s?
Like radio personalities?
More
or
of a
what?
radio personality that I remember would not be
Don
Don
Imus?
immediately. But
Imus, also, what that woman that would, Dr. Laura.
Dr. Laura
Dr.
sounds
Laura.
familiar. I'm just trying to have some point of reference here, but it wouldn't be Howard Stern for
All
me.
those big markets have the big names. We don't. I mean, we're in a smaller market for sure, so we don't have a lot of that. I remember in the I think in the late '90s or early aughts, there was a local affiliate that carried Howard Stern for maybe a year, maybe, and then they got rid of it.
Too expensive.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. I like Howard Stern. Though. I remember years ago we did an IBWIP around Halloween, and you dressed up as Howard Stern.
I looked just like him, didn't I?
Yeah, and do you have like an affinity for him? Do you like Howard Stern? Do you take inspiration from him?
I don't know if I take inspiration, but I over the years, he there's the Howard Stern persona that's on the microphone,
Sure,
and then there's the Howard Stern behind the off mic, and I kind of think as a podcaster that's probably been for me. Like there's Blake on the mic, and there's Blake when his does
so you
doing
see
what his wife
yourself
says to do.
to some degree in him,
Right, and now I mean he wouldn't dare do some of the stuff he's done in the past, and I guess he has morals and values now, which are great, and he saves animals.
I keep hearing about how good his interviews are. What he's able to.
I mean, have you
to
heard some of my
harvest out
interviews? Have you heard some of my interviews with some of the
Absolutely,
bands?
from the song,
amazing,
absolutely,
right?
yeah. They are very good.
Thank you.
But I'm just saying, in the past, he'd say, "Hey, sexy porno lady, sit on this vibrating thing and have an orgasm live on."
Sibian. It was called a Sibian.
Yeah, the Sibian. That's right. Have an orgasm live on the radio. But he doesn't really rely on those tricks anymore. It's more about I'm a seasoned veteran of radio.
I don't need to do
I'm
that.
in my early 60s, and I can have a conversation and still get things out of people. Sure. It's a rite of passage for most celebrities to be on Howard Stern.
Well, he just recently did something. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but he with Letterman.
Yeah,
I think
I
he
saw
sat
it.
down with him. Was
Yeah.
that good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I saw it too. It was very good.
Yeah.
Love Letterman.
And I guess he's close with Kimmel as well, Jimmy Kimmel.
I think Jimmy
Howard Stern.
Kimmel has like an extreme affinity for people like Letterman and Stern. So when he
appreciates
absolutely
veterans that paved the way,
Well,
such as you boys
thank
looking at
you.
me.
Kimmel was like in radio for a long time, so he saw people like
K-Rock
Stern.
probably.
I think maybe so. Yes, yeah, I think he was. You're right. Towards the end of his radio career, he was there. Anyway, October 7th, child star Adam Rich arrested for stealing hypodermics. You guys ever hear of Adam Rich?
What was it? What was it?
He was on 8 is Enough. You've heard of that program, right?
I don't recognize it.
I remember the program.
You don't remember the program? That was from like the late 70s, early 80s. It was like a sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sitcom.
family sitcom.
But yeah, he got some hypodermic needles, did heroin. Who cares?
This is an example of child stars, like eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any good examples of that?
The guy from Mighty Ducks.
Oh my god.
Oh
you're
my
right.
God! What happened to that guy? The little chubby Puerto Rican kid that was the goalie.
His name in the films.
Michael
you're
Pena?
Right. I said Michael Pena. You racist. No, it was his name was Goldberg.
Right.
In the films.
This guy is
my God.
40-some
Do you know
years.
what I'm talking about? You remember the Mighty Ducks, Matthew?
I do remember the Mighty
Do you remember
Ducks,
the
yep.
it was like a Mexican or Puerto Rican looking young guy.
Okay.
And he was the goalie. He's a big fat guy, and his name in the films was Goldberg, like he was a Jewish guy or something. But recently, he got in trouble for like what was it, methamphetamine?
Yeah, look.
He's probably 40.
Oh my gosh.
40.
I do remember that.
Yeah, he looks
That's
like
him?
he looks 80-some years old.
No way.
Unrecognizable.
Oh, poor guy. Don't do drugs, guys.
Super unfortunate.
Kids, don't do it. Even here, like he took a big turn quickly.
I think what we should do is we should start a petition to have all children in any kind of media going forward be computer animated.
That's a good idea. CGI those kids.
Yep.
Drew Barrymore, she's still. I mean, she made it through a lot of that stuff, right? She was going to.
Not without a lot of bumps and bruises, my man.
You know, I like to bump and bruise a couple of those.
She's a.
I'm sorry, Matt. Gosh dang it.
He never
That's right.
apologizes to me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Matt.
October
Drew
10th,
not-
Greyhound bus ends bankruptcy. You guys ever take a Greyhound bus?
Yeah.
Not since then.
I took a Greyhound from New Orleans to Montgomery, Alabama.
Did you really? For what reason? A lady, probably, I imagine.
No lady involved. I went solo trip. I took the train to from Bloomington to New Orleans,
Wow.
and then I spent the night. And then I took a Greyhound to Montgomery, Alabama, so I could go see the Hank Williams Cemetery and the museum.
That's a holy hell.
I did not know how to use public transportation, and I made a big mistake on my travels.
How so?
To go all the way down on the train
then
when
come back up.
I could have
Yeah.
stopped and just not. I didn't know a Greyhound bus was going to take forever and a day.
Was it like super boring, or do you feel like you gained something for having taken such an
I
incredible?
feel like
trip?
I wasted a lot of time on the Greyhound bus. The train was awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, here I am. I've never been anywhere by myself. You know, I mean, I've always had a friend or a family member, and I go to New Orleans with an alcohol problem, which was horrible. But you know what? Speaking of which, let's just finish this off. On Bourbon Street, I made out with a girl from Australia, Dee Dee. There we go. We have a connection.
How did that come about?
Kevin Bacon. I was at a bar, and I was drunk, and there was this Australian girl, and I was talking to her, and we started making out.
I have never heard this story. This is incredible.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah.
And then I said, I got to catch a bus at 4 a.m. I should go because it's midnight. And I'm walking down Bourbon Street, and then I go, this is the Hustler strip club, and I went in there and I sat down.
What a wild night.
No
Hold on a
doubt.
minute, because this is a guy who doesn't have very much money and has a list of things that he wants to buy in Montgomery, Alabama, and still get home. I got what do you call it? Solicited. I got solicited, and the only reason I didn't do it is because I knew I wouldn't have enough money to get home, and that was
Unreal.
New Orleans.
That's unreal.
Wow.
Whew, boy.
Spent a month there one night.
Yeah.
No?
Well, and I was so drunk that I don't remember. I got so drunk, and I was so nervous. Obviously, I was just a basket case, right?
What?
And so I didn't know where my hotel was because it wasn't the original hotel I was supposed to stay at, and so I didn't know where I was in the city. And I was so drunk I didn't remember the name of the hotel. And I'm walking down Bourbon Street like 2 a.m. With nobody else.
Oh, jeez.
And don't you have to catch something at 4 a.m.?
Thank you very much.
Did you make it to your hotel?
I made it to the hotel, and I got back in time to pack up
Wow.
and get a taxi
Jeez.
to the Greyhound station.
Unreal. And with that memory,
Sorry.
hopefully till the end of your days, we are safely and securely back in the year 1991. Whew. Oh. Nope. Not ready for that. Not ready for that at all. Jesus. Tap dancing. No, not ready for that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What the fuck are you doing? I don't know, man.
Is this on?
Why did we choose to watch it?
Oh, it's 3 simple criteria. I know this. One, it was a pilot that never went to series. Only one was made. Whether it aired or not is irrelevant. Number 2, we had to find it on the interwebs. And number 3, it had to be free, baby.
Matthew, out of
That's
those
smooth.
3, usually we let Matt. The
Oh,
guest say.
shit. Goddamn.
This is what
quite
happens when
alright.
you have the board.
I'm an eager beaver. What can I say?
I can't wait to host. Once I get that essay in
I
there.
really think it's going to happen. Of those 3, no.
No, it's yours. It's too much pressure for me. Now I'm having heart
We're handing
palpitations.
this across the table.
Here, I'll
Heart
ta- Let
palpitations.
me take the soundboard here real quick. Matthew, out of those 3 requirements for couch pilots, is there any one that stands out to you that you deem the most important?
Boy, I'm kind of a cost-driven guy. Like, it's got to be free in order to keep this thing running.
Yeah, because this is a free podcast.
Yeah.
No one wants to pay for this shit, right?
If we had to pay for this, we'd go under. Because we're not getting any money, but
Yeah.
we would be pushing
The
it out.
Patreon, we're getting all sorts of money.
Yeah.
We can find the entire episode of Power Pack by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classic label links in our show notes. Oh my god. Or go to YouTube, Matt.
And you'll know what to do, tubes.
Matt, will you tell him to just...
What the
Do you want me to use the F word?
No, I want you to tell him to use a fucking period.
What happened there? Did you turn it off?
Just let's get in the plane. Let's go.
Have you ever heard of the phrase, what is nightmare scenario?
No, never heard of it.
Stuff nightmares
My
are made
life. My life is a nightmare. My life.
Summary the pilot. The Powers kids have been given superhuman abilities, but that doesn't necessarily mean that adjusting to a new home will be any easier.
Short and sweet.
Grade it? Grade it?
Uh,
You got a grade for it?
B plus.
Wow.
You
That's
really-
easily the highest I've heard from you on
I feel like he's been
the
sitting on a lot of
61 podcasts I've been on.
These. Have you been that many? I thought it was between 8 and 105.
Why do you keep coming back? That's ridiculous. Like to punish yourself. This is like his Iron Man now. Like
Yeah.
if he can make it through a whole
If
episode,
he can endure this,
yeah, he's all chaped up and
This is how I mentally prepare for an Iron Man. Is that I come on this show.
interesting facts. Well, actually, Matt, do you know about interesting facts?
I know a little bit about
What?
interesting
Tell
facts.
us about the segment before I give the interesting facts.
Now this is a big ask. I don't mean to discourage asking me to do this, but I feel like Blake is easily the most passionate about. Okay, so whether they're interesting or not to you is irrelevant.
there you go.
These are facts. Don't taint, I think is. I thought I might. Did I stick it?
You landed that shit.
Thank you. While they were laughing that hard, they were throwing their glasses on. Don't
Shame us.
taint anyone else's experience by
But
turning to your significant other and suggesting that these would be interesting or not.
Sure.
Just don't comment on them.
Imposing your opinion. I have a lot more to say.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
it's 8:30.
Back to you.
Just don't do it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, don't do it, guys. Power Pack is a fictional team of superheroes consisting of 4 young siblings appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. They were created by writer Louise Simonson and artist June Brigman and first appeared in their own series in 1984. The series lasted 62 issues. The characters have since appeared in other books. Fact.
Okay.
Following the cancellation of the original comic, Paragon Entertainment Corporation and New World Television developed Power Pack into a live-action show for NBC's Saturday morning kids block. While a pilot episode was made, the series was passed on and later picked up by Fox, which chose to broadcast it as a Saturday morning special on September 28th, 1991, rather than ordering the entire series. The 27-minute pilot has subsequently been aired a few times on Fox Kids during the off-season. Minor alterations to the concept were made for the pilot, ranging from the children's parents being aware of their superhuman abilities, Julie's acceleration power being altered to her being able to move at superhuman speed without the ability to fly, and the cloud aspect of Jack's density power being eliminated. He was only able to shrink in size. The children did not wear costumes.
That's true. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
How can who amongst us can dispute it?
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't have
Tread lightly.
Should I have glasses on right now?
I think we got
This
enough.
is-
Was that what you asked?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
put
is
those
this,
glasses
this is
on.
our superpower.
Yeah, this is our superpower. This is our disguise. This is
Hold on.
Clark Kent.
We're the
shit
Clark
here.
Kent
Hold
shit.
on. Check that out.
Fancy. Oh my boy, we're schmancy over here. In 2000, Marvel entered into a joint venture agreement with Artisan Entertainment to turn at least 15 Marvel superhero franchises into live-action films, television series, direct-to-video films, and internet projects. These 15 franchises included an adaptation of Power Pack. In September 2017, Marvel Studios announced plans to introduce Power Pack into the Marvel Cinematic Universe with their own film in development. Jonathan Schwartz, an executive producer on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, will oversee the project, with the plot being described as a Spy Kids-like story. Fact, interesting facts, over.
Nice. Great job. Great job.
Really landed that,
A
Jay.
lot of information there. A lot of information.
Thank God there wasn't a Mountain Dew joke at the end of that, but you did a great job.
I opened myself up to you, and this is how you treat me. People ask why I'm cold and unwilling to
It's
share
because you have
feelings.
a heart. That's why. It's because you have a heart.
Okay. I have a heart. I'm a human being.
You have commitment issues, and you don't have a heart.
I see. All right. You know what? You know what I heard on the way over here? You know what I heard on the way over here?
Your heart beating
No.
by itself in your
No.
car.
No. I heard the very last part of a most recent karaoke Biggie. You know what you said on that?
What?
You and Biggie claimed that I was a homosexual through and through. I really genuinely think that Scott believes I'm a gay guy. You guys really let me have it at the end. I don't know why. I'm a fan of karaoke Biggie.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember that at all.
I do know.
All right.
All right, I know.
Let's move along.
Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. Twitter responses. I'm hoping Jason got some Twitter responses.
And you know that I did. A few weeks ago, we did a little program called Mabel and Max about an old woman on the verge of death living in New York with a young woman who was an aspiring actress, the older woman being the mentor. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great.
One of the first writers on it, because as you know, a lot of things go through a series of writers before they find, their hit, whatever it is,
Sure.
before they get in their rhythm. One of these
Their
writers,
ballywick.
I'll take it. One of the first writers on Mabel and Max was legendary comedian Elaine Boozler.
If you don't know who Elaine Boozler is, you don't know comedy. I mean,
Yeah, jump in front of a truck if
Right.
you don't know who she is, all right?
And she'll probably push you.
She would be hilarious. So we had talked to her back then. She had responded back then. The episode came out. You tagged her on Twitter. She responded again, completely unprompted. But thankfully she did. Because she says, just to add to your knowledge of failed TV and while it fails, my partner and I rewrote this pilot for 2 years. Something she had mentioned before.
She did mention that.
Here's what she didn't mention. Then it was taken away from us and put through rewrites by about 6 other writers, leaving almost nothing of ours. However, WGAW rules, our names remained on the credits.
Sure.
So if you have any kind of writing to do with it, even though if your shit didn't make it to the actual product, they're going to give you credit.
Well, let's say me and you wrote a pilot or a script, right?
Sure.
And we sell it to NBC. It could be 99% different,
Run it through the ringer.
but when it comes out, me and your name's going to be on it.
We're going to get a little piece of that action.
Right, but our name's going to be on it.
Yep.
And people are going to be like, this pilot sucked.
Well, for better or worse, it's on it, I
That's
guess,
right.
right? So I said, hey, not sure what was left of what you wrote, but it has been one of the few failed pilot sitcoms that I actually liked. If it had survived, would you have had any more involvement? And she responded again. She says, so long ago, I can't remember what was ours except the characters and plot. I don't remember the deal we had. Might have simply gotten a weekly check for created by. And I said, well, we had fun with it.
Yeah.
Thanks again for your time. What a pleasant exchange
that's
with,
great.
no doubt, seriously, a legendary comedian.
A class act lady, in my opinion.
All the way.
Yeah, those are high marks.
Yep.
All right, so we thank you, Elaine Boozler, very much. Here, we actually, this is an interesting thing for us. We're going to talk directly to one of the stars of Power Pack. We're going to have a phone conversation with a gentleman. His name is Brad Mockery. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. And he actually played one of the characters.
Jack.
Yeah, he played Jack in Power Pack. Jack Pack. I wouldn't call him that. But we're going to speak to him right now. So we'll go to that interview right now. All right, everyone. I am here with Brad. Is it Mockery?
Yeah, Macri.
Macri, okay. And you are one of the stars of Power Pack. You played Jack Power in the pilot.
And Jack Power was the best of the characters. He
He
was the coolest. No, come on. Jack was the best.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is the Mass Master, right? So
Mass Master, that's right.
Show. They didn't really show it in the show, but he could also grow, not just shrink. And so, yeah, if he grew up enough, he would turn into smoke. And then he could blow smoke up your ass just like they do in the
Nice. I wasn't blowing smoke up your ass. I honestly no. When I was watching this, and this is Blake, by the way. When I was watching this Jack was the coolest of the.
He was featured the most out of all.
Yeah, he was
of them.
featured the most,
really
but he was like the cool kid, right? He was the cooler one. Alex was kind of the nerdy one. Yeah, I like Jack.
I don't know if that's so much the case. I think they were all pretty nerdy, but because they're all scientist kids, right?
Yeah.
So they're all a little.
Well, you're sitting in a room with a couple of nerds here, and I honestly, I love comic books, but I wasn't really familiar with Power Pack, and I know Blake wasn't either. So it was interesting that they chose this property to make a pilot of, but it makes sense for like a Saturday morning cartoon for sure, or like a live action show.
Yeah, a live action show for kids, and families were the thing on television. You had the Wonder Years, you had like Family Ties. This is what was dominating television at the time. So to have another child-centric live action thing on, I think it was Fox that was interested in it at the time. That would have just fit right in. So I don't know that it would have been always Saturday morning. I think it would have been a little bit later, but well, that's up for the producers.
Right.
I can't really speak to that. You have to remember I was 11 years old too.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
And this is one of my questions. At the age of 11 years old, you're filming a television show. Was this in early 90s? Did they have all these rules about how long you could like film and stuff?
Oh yeah, we were absolutely protected by the union,
Sure.
right? ACTRA up here, SAG in the States. So yeah, we were absolutely protected. In fact, the night that we were wrapping, the show was going to wrap for foreseeably forever, because we didn't know if it was going to get picked up into a series. They had to send me home, and I was so upset about it because I wanted to be there when they wrapped everybody, and we got a wrap party to say goodbye to everybody. So I didn't really get that goodbye because I had to be off the set in case somebody from the union came by.
They said, "No, you got to go to bed."
well, that too, but we had a lot of late nights. There were a lot of, because when you're shooting where it has to be dark outside, and that happened a couple of times in the internal scenes in the house. You have to do it overnight. You can't do it during the day. You have to do it overnight. So bedtime wasn't really a thing for me at 11.
Did you guys shoot the whole thing in Canada?
We did, yeah. Have you guys already totally ripped apart the graphics and the soundtrack and all of that stuff yet?
Honestly, what we do is we really try to put ourselves in the mindset of the time in which the pilot was released. So we try not to we try not to bash things that technologically were prohibiting you from doing what could be done now. So we understand the limitations you guys had, but I don't think we bashed it very much. We noticed that the new kids on the block were in the show, right?
They were in the show. Fred Savage poster on the wall because it was New World Television was the producers,
Nice.
who also did the Wonder Years, right?
Nice.
So,
Product placement.
Fred Savage poster on the wall. Yeah.
That's called vertical integration. Yeah.
Trying to think what else you would have noticed. Well, I mean, it was also limited by money because it was only the pilot, right? So
Right.
even though Industrial Light and Magic did those special effects,
Oh, wow.
they still look pretty hokey. Like that was hokey. That was like the budget version of what Industrial Light and Magic could do.
So like the scene where Alex was like seamlessly floating or falling continuously, like that one right there, that it could have been done differently later on.
Well, yeah, I mean, they just added in a bunch of effects on top of a green screen, right?
Right.
So he's in a harness. They're blowing fans up at him, and he's in front of just green background, right? So that they can put whatever they want in after that, and they could do it again. They could remount the whole thing and do it. But the rumor's been out for years. And it keeps cycling back every few years that they're going to make a Marvel movie.
Yeah, we just read about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. If in true Marvel movie style, I think we should all do cameos.
Right. I was just
totally.
gonna say that. Yeah, definitely.
That would be awesome. Yeah, it sounded like the director, the producer of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was going to, he had talked about Power Pack and how they, in the next phase of the Marvel movies, they were going to have a part of it. Now, I've not heard anything other than that, but just in my research for this particular pilot we came across, I thought it was interesting. How did you get involved in this particular pilot?
I had been doing some shows around Toronto. Toronto was kind of a hotbed for American productions. I guess it still is now, but there was a big lull there around the SARS epidemic in Toronto, and at the same time the dollar came up to par, and so American productions kind of left the Canadian film and television industry and stayed south. But at the time, it was busy. I was turning down jobs.
Wow.
Because there was just so much choice and so much to do. And there was a group of, it's not like we were all friends, but there was a group of child actors in Toronto that we saw at every audition.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I would see Nathaniel Moreau at auditions, and I would see, these other kids, Amos Crawley and people like that at these auditions time and time and time again. So then we all kind of knew of each other. So how I got into that, I don't even remember, right? I was doing auditions when I, came to consciousness. I was already in an audition room. So it was just kind of in the 80s too, everybody who had a cute baby got them an agent and tried to get them in film and television. And hey, you could make money doing this is what all the parents heard. And the real effects of child stardom hadn't been really seen yet in the way that it's seen, through a historical lens now. Like,
oh, sure.
The kids from Home Improvement and all of that. It's certainly wasn't seen that way in the 80s. So pretty much every kid who had some kind of sparkle in their eye ended up getting an agent and going to auditions and landing on one show or the other. So that's sort of how I got on the show, was I just went to an audition. And again, Daniel DeSanto, who's in the show, who plays Eddie, I think, he was on a number of other shows up here, and he ended up being in a movie with Joey Lawrence.
Whoa!
Shot here in Toronto as well. Exactly. And I think they're trying to get him off of the catchphrase. But anyway, so it's, you just kind of got to know all these other kids, and it just was normal to be doing it at the time in Toronto.
So you spend all the time filming this. And then you film it, and you have to wait to find out if it's going to be picked up or not. What was it like waiting to find out, or did you guys know very quickly after you got done filming it?
No, there was always talk. The time just the clock ran out on the kids, is what how we felt, or at least how I felt, is that there was always talk, there was always hope. They kept shopping it every season. There was always another network that they were going to go talk to, and it really, the clock just ran out. The kids got much older than the pilot, and it would have been awkward to carry on a series from that pilot where the kids are now 3 years older.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it aired a number of times in those 3 years, just on Saturday mornings as a standalone, like, movie of the week kind of deal. So, at least for that, there was some. I saw it on, like, Fox Kids on Saturday mornings at least once or twice. But of course, I had the VHS tape of it, and was able to show everybody that I wanted to show, friends and family, everybody who wanted to see it. They all are familiar with the show, not from television, from just seeing it privately.
Sure.
Yeah, it looked like it was originally an NBC situation, but then Fox picked it up, like you said, and it showed it a handful of times. You had done a handful of things after that, including the 90s version of the old, I think it's from the 1960s, the Car 54, Where Are You? As well as being in those very popular books from R.L. Stine made into a TV series in the 90s called Goosebumps. So you had roles in both of those as well, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as I said, there was a big lull in between there. And then when 97 came back, it was like old times. And that Goosebumps show, it was a 2-part episode, and we were on it for, I think they did an episode a week. They filmed an episode a week, and because we were a 2-part episode, we filmed for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And yeah, that was a whole other experience. There was giant mushroom cloud explosions being done in the park to capture, and it was all real special effects. Meaning, of course, like prosthetics and puppets and all of that stuff, as opposed to CGI.
Right. Well, those are some very cool projects that you're involved with. I also want to quickly ask you, I won't take up too much more of your time, but I want to ask you kind of what you're up to these days. I'm looking at your Twitter, kind of where we contact you in the first place, and it says Canadian Music Royalties and Licensing Manager for Independent Record Labels and Publishers. I didn't know if you want to talk about or plug any of that information. I'd be interested to hear about it.
Yeah, it's a completely different lifetime, So currently I host this radio show on a college station here in Hamilton, Ontario. I'm actually doing that at about midnight tonight. And then during the days, I do film and television licensing of music for one of Canada's oldest and largest independent record labels, True North Records. So we have a lot of classic catalog, and I manage the royalties for that catalog, meaning registrations, collections, calculations, and then distributions. And then I as well go and meet with the music supervisors and the producers of films. This last week was the Toronto International Film Festival here, and the Canadian Publishers Association gets publishers together to meet with all the music supervisors that are in town with their films. So people who are in the market shopping for music to place it in the industry that I used to be in. And so I go and I meet with them, and I try and fulfill whatever music needs they're looking for. Back to Power Pack for a second. I don't know if you noticed the soundtrack, but it's all other songs, or it's all songs that you would know better from other movies.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Every
So I heard
every background track is from another movie that you would know it from.
I definitely heard the New Kids on the Block, and there's a point where I believe it's Julie Power who has the ability to run very fast and leaves that rainbow streak behind her. There's some sort of techno music happening behind that. Other than that, I don't know that I could pick out any other music. What do you mean when you say they're from other films?
Well, the opening credits, and again repeated when we stumble into the dark room with all of the crazy macabre instruments and the guillotine and all of that stuff.
Sure.
That is a theme from Edward Scissorhands.
Is it really? Okay. I love that film.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And another Easter egg is after we defeat the Dr. Mobius, and we return to the house. There's a happy theme that plays. That happy theme is from The Little Mermaid.
Oh,
Is it really?
that's crazy.
What part of the Little Mermaid?
Where she's underwater. It's the part where she's underwater.
But it's not it's famous stuff. It's a happy theme, probably from the beach.
Okay.
Not at the end, but right in I think it's when she first gets legs and she wakes up on the beach and it's, sunny and she's figuring it out. It's that theme in the back there. I have a 4-year-old daughter and I've watched this movie very recently.
Now, is this something that you knew back then, or is this something as being involved in the music industry and the licensing that you were totally able to instantly pick up on now?
It's funny, my best friend at the time, so in 1991, when I played him the VHS tape, he picked it out immediately as the Edward Scissorhands theme.
Okay.
But it wasn't until very recently that I was watching The Little Mermaid and realized it was the same theme from the happy scene in Power Pack.
Wow, that's funny.
So I don't even know how long that is. What is that? 27 years?
Wow.
So 27 years apart, I've identified 2 of the songs. I need to watch it again now, see if I can pick out any more.
Oh, very cool. Well, that's about all we got, I think, for you right now.
No, that's awesome.
Do you have anything else, Blake?
No, not really. I mean, it's super cool for somebody who, this is many, many years ago, to still, he's still in the industry, but not, doing acting.
Right.
Was the acting or movies kind of led you into the music part of it, or did you just have a love for music and they just kind of combined?
Well, I tell this story in my biography when I do music stuff. I've spoken on panels about film and television licensing and royalties and how to get grants and all of that stuff within the Canadian music industry. And part of that is I had this moment at a concert when I was very young, and I had just seen Wayne's World. And instead of wanting to be the guitar player or wanting to be the drummer or, wanting to be the lead front man of a band, I watched this concert and I thought to myself, I want to drive up in a limo to the side of the stage and get them to sign a big fat contract.
Nice.
And that was the moment when I realized that I wanted to be in the music industry without actually playing an instrument. I mean, I do play some instruments, but that wasn't what the driving force was. It was more support. And so that kind of combines a film moment with, a life epiphany moment. And it was all around that time when I was doing acting.
He chose longevity is what he chose.
I think a lot of people in the spotlight have a very narrow scope of fame. And
he's like, I know the way to do this.
This guy built a career. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, very good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brad, for being on Couch Pilots. We really appreciate it. Check out Brad at bradmockery.ca and listen to CFMU. That's 93.3 FM in Hamilton. And check out Brad's show. It's midnight to 2. How many days a week do you do that, Brad?
I do that once a week, Tuesday nights, 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. It's a long shift when you have 2 kids at home.
Right.
I believe it. Awesome. Well, thanks again so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Of course.
And we're really happy to talk to you. So thanks again.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And I'll look forward to hearing this, man. This is going to be a great show. Thank you for covering part of my history.
There you
Absolutely.
go. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. All right. So thank you very much, Jack, for that information. That was awesome to speak to you. And here's a little show. It's one of my favorite shows anyway. And it's called Drunken Lullabies. Turn the volume down for Drunken Lullabies. That's what I always say.
Hey, this is The Voice. I'm here interrupting one of your favorite podcasts to tell you all about mine. If you're a fan of craft beer, independent music, pop culture, and laughing at inappropriate things, then you should check out Drunken Lullabies, brought to you by Distilled Brewery. New episodes are available on draft every Sunday, so you can spend the Sabbath getting tipsy along with us. We try beers, play songs, and laugh our asses off. So go on, indulge yourself, and become a part of Drunkamaniac Nation. And if craft beer and music aren't your thing, you can listen to Drunk at the Movies every Wednesday, brought to you by Iron Spike Brewing Company. Listen to me and my friends provide our own alcohol-fueled commentary tracks to some of our favorite movies, unedited and uncensored. You don't have to be drunk to enjoy these movies, but it doesn't hurt. Until next time, this is the voice saying, may your music be loud, and may your beers be cold.
That's big old Dustin with Drunken Lullabies, but he also mentioned there Drunk at the Movies. And just recently, he's had a format change. He has a special guest host that's a regular host now. And so a little format change. So if you like movies and you like to get drunk, check it out, right?
I've sat in on one of those. A lot of fun. At the Christmas Story, I believe is what it was.
Really?
That's right, yeah.
Really? You sat on the couch and had some brewskis then,
I did. Sat there right there next to Jason,
I think
Dustin, and others. Yeah.
Eventually he's going to have watched every movie ever made.
Wow.
But
Is that a goal of his?
Huh? I think his goal is to own every movie ever made because he does have.
He has quite the collection,
Yeah.
no doubt.
So, Drunk at the Movies.
That's the show now.
Oh no, I've done cut you off, my friend. No, go ahead.
That's the show.
Right.
Drunk at the Movies. So the latter half of that commercial was for Drunk at the Movies.
Right.
And that's pretty much what it's turned into.
Sure.
So we anxiously await a new commercial from Dustin. But in the meantime, subscribe to the feed, listen to the fun. He's got a new co-host. There's a lot of interesting
Already
information.
went over all this. What did you go to the bathroom? I've already went over this.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I went to the bathroom.
It's called Stalling for Time.
I thought you guys were going to talk about the Lakers some more.
Speaking of time, Matt, you do know about the new rule that we have in season 15, correct?
Go ahead with it.
It is that we only have 10 minutes to discuss the pilot.
Let's do it.
We're not going to drone on all day about this pilot. We're going to do 10 minutes.
And we
we're out.
learned last week that if we fuck around too much, people don't find out what happens at the end.
We had to cut it off.
Yeah.
It's out of our hands.
That's right.
So I'm going to hit it in 3, 2, 1, and immediately you guys should start talking 3, 2, 1.
When I originally went this link, the one I watched had just like 4.5 minutes of comic book covers.
Yes.
Which
Same
I
here.
was like, this is stupid, right?
There was a little information up top.
Sure.
But then after that, it was just a comic book cover after comic book cover of just the Power Pack being featured.
Right, and the only thing that I noticed during all these is the price of the comic book went up. It started at 65 cents, and it was like $1.25 by the time they were done.
It's New World Pictures. There's narration. We're in outer space, and it's basically some being is saying that
Like a
they're looking
narrator
to
being-
pass their powers on to these kids.
I was even having difficulty actually even hearing that part. Like
Right.
it was, I had to adjust. I had to adjust. I kept adjusting the antenna to try to get a better
That makes sense.
broadcast.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
so
to me.
he's like, I found these 4 kids, and they are the Power Pack, and it's Alex, Jack, Julie, and Katie.
I never got Julie's name ever.
What?
No.
Never got it.
Jack's in the bathroom, and he loses his retainer. Okay, it goes down the sink, and Julie. So he goes down into it.
He can shrink.
Yeah,
What?
I
What?
was trying to explain all their powers.
Please go ahead.
Guys, Jack can shrink. Julie is super fast. Alex moves stuff with his mind, and Katie has like the ability to like move. Like I don't know what her deal is. She has a force field power.
It's almost
ball.
like electricity because
Yeah.
kind of later on in the series, or rather in the show,
Something like that.
Yep.
But at the time, you don't know. And they just moved into a new house, and we noticed that Katie has humongous eyes for a little girl.
We did.
They were in. I'm sorry. I noticed that Katie has humongous eyes. She reminds me of the little girl from the Poltergeist, but with short
I get
curly
it.
with
I
short
get
curly
that.
hair.
Sure.
Cute, adorable little girl, looks innocent, but has the most powerful power of all of them.
Julie has the ability to run at sonic speeds, but there's like a rainbow behind her. And while she's doing this, there's like some like pretty prevalent techno music being played. You guys hear this at all?
Yeah.
It was kind of odd. It was kind of like distracting, honestly.
Because she's cleaning her room. because her mom says you can't leave until all of the clothes are picked up.
See, Alex with his mind control stuff, I thought he was just super strong
Oh
That's
no.
it. Okay, so when you said mind control,
because he was lifting up a really heavy
I was
aquarium to
wondering,
get a book.
and they don't really feature, and that's part of my. We'll get to that, but they don't really feature his power. I thought he had super strength because it really looked like
That's what I thought, just based on that.
effortlessly.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought he just had mind control because he doesn't touch it.
If you no, if
No,
you look at it,
no,
his
he
hand,
doesn't touch it.
his hands.
This
like
is
right
this is
here.
what I'm going to put a pause on the timer. Actually, right at 7 minutes, believe it or not.
Wow, we got some ground to cover.
We got a lot of ground to cover. So I'm going to say this is what I pulled up from a website because I was actually interested in what these people's powers were. So it says, at Jack's suggestion, they each choose superhero names. This is comic book wise. This has nothing to do with the show necessarily. It says Alex became Guy, able to control gravity. So if he's able to control gravity, it's like a mind control.
Thank you.
No, you're absolutely right. As light speed, Julie could fly and left a trail of rainbow light. So in this, she didn't fly, but she ran super fast and had a trail of rainbow light. Katie became Energizer, able to convert physical objects into energy, then absorb and discharge it as destructive bolts.
That makes sense. All right, start the timer.
Well, there's 4 of them.
I thought you got everybody.
While Jack's ability to become cloud-like and later tiny and super dense made him mass master. So the cloud-like ability, not featured in the show.
No, didn't see
But his
any of that.
ability to shrink was featured.
Okay.
Okay, so now I will put it back on.
Sorry.
Ready?
My apologies.
Ready and go.
So the dad, they're doing all these superpowers that they have, and the dad's like, whoa, 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 guys, listen. We're in a new town. Nobody knows you. Let's not use our superpowers and cause
draw attention.
draw
to
attention
ourselves.
to
The great with great power becomes great responsibility is laid out. He says these powers are extraordinary.
Yeah, and I noticed that isn't that something that
It's a Superman thing. It's really. It's
No,
more
it's
so
Spider-Man. Uncle Ben from Spider-Man.
So the comment he just absolutely the quote you just used was from the Marvel universe, but what we were hinting at was kind of DC-ish with Superman, right? Where he said basically, "Hey,
Nerds.
we don't go telling people you're Superman."
Okay.
Okay, there's a hybrid of the two then.
Yeah, I agree.
So they're in a new neighborhood. He's saying keep a low profile, and then they all go off to school despite the opening shot being of a school bus driving right by their house.
Right.
Anyway.
They're late they're late.
So anyway, Jack can shrink, and the parents they send the kids out to school, and they're kind of discussing their children's powers. They're
Right.
concerned, right?
Well, the dad is super concerned. The mom's just kind of like, it's cute that they got these. Like, in my opinion, she was just like really laid back about it. You would think that it would be the other way around. You'd think the scientist dad would be like, "Oh, we're cool. It's cool. We're gonna be cool." And the mom would be freaked out, but it's the opposite way. The dad's freaked out, and the mom's just like, just take it easy.
I would be
on it."
freaked out. I was like, wait till you accidentally do it in front of someone, and then the government chops your head off.
Right.
You know,
Tries to study you
or steals your kid and puts him in a tube.
at school, they're talking about gravity, and Alex nails the course, and some girl gets soaked over it.
Oh, big time. And her name
Sorry, Matt. I'm
was
sorry, Matt.
Her name was
Sorry.
Tina.
I had
And
to think about that for a second.
so
But
Tina,
what that could possibly
Yeah.
mean.
No, but like you see her face, she's like, I can't believe how smart. She is totally turned on by intellect.
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, this nerd girl, she's talking to the Powers girl about where to find cute boys at lunchtime, right?
Right. Did you notice they had the juice jugs?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Juice jugs.
They're like the little clear ones with the foil tops.
Yep. That was cool.
Remember those?
And then at lunch, there's some boys also talking to Jack about breaking into a house that they deem haunted, where some guy has like a macabre museum.
Yeah.
I don't know how they know about it. I don't know why they know about it, but they do, and
There's
they want to break
so
into
How
it.
do they know about the macabre?
I don't know. I know about corn on the cob. That's it.
At 7 or 9 years old, did you know about the macabre?
No.
No, me
I'm gonna
neither.
say no.
So
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so the next scene is real quick. Alex is studying by himself in the theater, and Tina, who is a beautiful, towering
That's the girl
12-year-old,
who loved him, and the other.
and she's like, "Can I get your number sometime? I want to call you." And he's like,
If I have any questions on like,
"Right, yeah, I got questions. All
Tina
right."
Calloway. She's very tall, and Alex sees this. Is like,
does
oh
he kind
my
of
God.
acknowledge that?
Yes,
in that
he does.
scene?
Yes,
totally.
definitely.
Yeah.
And so Jack and his friends go to the old scary house, and they can't get in. And so Jack gets small and then goes in, and all of a sudden is confronted by a mouse which is like a velociraptor.
He says to his buddies, "Yeah, I'm going to find a way in." And he uses his powers in secret to get in, and then lets his buddies in.
Is there not something narrating during that moment where he's actually standing in front? Oh, is he talking?
He's talking.
Okay.
No, he's talking.
It sounded like something was talking over him.
I wrote this down at this time. I was like, this is kind of like Stranger Things, maybe, kind of like, but
get you now.
without the
Get a little.
superpowers.
A couple times I thought Stranger Things.
Without
Yep.
the superpowers.
So the three boys
I've
are-
never seen it, but
We just check it out.
Okay.
The boys are wandering through the house, and then all this weird stuff starts happening. A coffin opens up. There's a skeleton on the wall. The boys freak out, but then they say, "Oh, you know what? Everything's cool." We investigate further. There's a lot of weird shit in there, especially the macabre. It's like a circus in the macabre, it says. And then they see an amulet on the floor and a shifty-eyed painting.
right. So they take the amulet. Jack takes the amulet home, right? Why? What else would you do?
They take it, and then they're like, something happens again. They're spooked out of the place. They run the hell out of there.
Take off, and so they get home.
I would never do this.
He
by the
might
way.
say "give it back" or something like that because
like a voice?
Yeah. Like the painting or the spirit of the painting is saying "give it back."
So Julie and Alex are in the kitchen, and they're putting stuff away
Mm-hmm.
because their mom said so. And in the background, if I'm not mistaken, the Backstreet Boys.
Nope. You
What?
are super wrong. It is the New Kids on the
I was gonna say that's probably pre-Backstreet.
Hell yeah,
Boys.
it is.
Yeah, okay, all right.
It was the New Kids on the
I'm
block. was on the
sorry,
radio.
I didn't catch that.
I'm heterosexual. I didn't know that.
I had my hand ready for a high five. I cannot deliver it.
All right, same difference.
But the girl leaves the house to meet her friends before mom gets home. Anyway, they go in the boys' room. The medallion that Alex stole is glowing, and clouds form over the house outside. And an ominous voice from the haunted mansion speaks out loud. He's like, "Give it back!" And a shadowy figure wants the amulet.
Kind of like,
Right.
almost like a monkish figures kind of walking along.
Yep.
and then Jack says, "This is not good."
Nope. So they go open the front door and there's nothing there. So the figure was there, but then it disappeared. So at this point, I'm saying, who's got what? And I say Alex is strong, but he's not strong. It's just mind control stuff. Jack can shrink. The girl is fast, and the kid's got a like orb of magic. This is where I really kind of lay it out for myself. Anyway, the parents leave the grocery store, and now it's kind of a Ferris Bueller thing, where the kids are like, "Well, we got to get home before this thing happens," and the parents are on their way home. Right. So the three kids go back to the haunted house. It's Jack, Alex, and they take the little girl.
Right. Yeah.
She's gotta come. She
'cause
can't be left alone.
Yeah, and Julie's gone hanging out with her friends. So they go back in, and they realize they have to put this medallion into the painting.
Well, that's true. They actually try to return it. Remember, they set it
but he's
below
like,
the painting.
Yeah, but then they look up and they
and he's interacting with them.
This is crazy because it's like they're in a fun house. One kid falls, seemingly
It's like
endlessly.
suspended almost.
One kid is grabbed by a skeleton, and then Katie, the little girl, is full on attacked by a zombie.
Yes.
Yeah.
By a zombie.
There are so
That is
many,
fucking
like-
frightening.
It's pretty hardcore. This scene right here is pretty hardcore for a Saturday morning show, right?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It was
and
a
so many
little
different,
much.
like, I don't know, mythical, weird, like, intersections here. Zombies. And,
But they shouldn't. The little kids shouldn't know about.
Oh man.
yeah, just
Well, all the kids seem to fend off their things.
veil of innocence was
the little-
torn away.
Oh, totally. The little kid Katie zaps the zombie with her whatever her power is. Anyway, they put the amulet back in place after a very long, seemingly very long scene of like thunder and lightning and flashing
Very
lights.
And the little girl is the one that like
They make
pushes
her
back.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "Come on,
Yeah,
come on!"
they hold her up.
Right.
They're like, you do this.
There's 4 kids. 3 of them are there.
Yep.
The other one gets home from hanging out with her friends, cleans up the place real quick before the parents get home.
Yep.
And then they return the amulet, and we're out of time.
Oh my
we-
gosh.
oh my gosh.
What a race to
You
the
know what?
finish.
So much detail, but that's the rule.
That's the rule, guys. That's 10 minutes. We can't talk about it any
Yep.
further. If you want to know for it, check it out yourself. In the meantime, I think we got a little bit of turbulence.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
The show didn't work, right? One episode, one in, one out. That's the rules, baby. But why? Matt, what do you think happened to Power Pack?
Okay, this is going to be a bit nerdy, but well, number one, I think the execution of it left a lot to be desired. Sure. Maybe even the quality of it. They tried to give you some background with this
Scrolling
voice
text.
over the beginning of it, trying to imbue these powers into these kids, and then I don't know. It didn't stick for me. I didn't feel like I got to appreciate the powers that they'd been given. They focused mostly on. I will say this, the shrinking one did nothing for me, maybe until you explained it a little bit more, Jay, that he's actually He's actually more manipulating matter and mass than he is.
Kind of like Ant-Man. They say
Yes.
Ant-Man is very dense.
Yes.
Ant-Man.
So if he's becoming very dense and small, they really just focused on the small.
Sure.
I'll wait for. I want to build off of that when we talk about what can make it better. But yeah.
Why didn't you think it worked?
Well, first of all, it helps that I found out that it was for Saturday mornings. I was thinking this was like going to be on TV.
prime time?
Yeah, I was like, what? That's crazy. It's a lot of the besides a bunch of nerds. That's one thing, but two is there's so much backstory and so much history with this power pack, this group of kids, and now you're putting it into a show. There's all this backstory about how they got their powers and everything, and you're trying to do a show for the first time and kind of cram it all in the front, and then you don't really do anything because you only got 15 minutes left. You don't get to see their cool powers. So you spend 10 minutes trying to put a year and a half worth of information in, and then now they have to do something, and there was nothing spectacular about it. You know what I mean? It was too much backstory for a half hour.
Yeah, I think a half hour is the right amount of time for the show, but this was not the right first episode. To put them immediately into some sort of situation where they have to use their powers.
Show us how they get them.
It felt mid-series to me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Totally.
Yeah.
Show us how they get them.
Yeah, we want to see that.
Yeah.
The reason
How you get them powers?
kids are watching this because they want to see children their age use magic and superhuman powers. That's what they want to see.
Right.
So let's see how we get there, and then let's see them use it more. There was a show, it was fairly popular. I think it went for like 3 seasons on Nickelodeon. It was called The Secret World of Alex Mack. Okay, and this is a girl who had powers, and it was a show that ran for a while on Nickelodeon. It's very similar to this. It wasn't related to any kind of Marvel comics or anything like that. It was its own entity,
Right.
But you got to see her use her powers a lot every episode, and that's what you want. As a kid, I want to see that happen.
I want to see how
That's
it
why
happens.
I'm watching.
Right.
Were the computer graphics terrible in Alex Mack? Absolutely. They were terrible. Just like this. They were terrible in this. But you get to enjoy them using their powers. So I say this show didn't work because we don't know what happened. We just were thrown into a situation, which I know is an often gripe of yours, Blake. And
Sure.
in this occurrence, I completely agree with you.
Well, thank you.
But why, if it survived, I think dig into the background. And then week after week, you're being put in a situation.
Dick into the background.
Dick into the background. Fully erect into the background is what I say. Matt, you said you had something else you wanted to add versus like what you do to improve it or where you'd like to see it
Is
go.
that where you want to go?
Please,
Yep.
yeah,
So
please.
I'll tie these two things together. If you notice at the beginning, which I'm not even convinced that this wasn't just tacked on for YouTube. When we see them scroll through all those comics
sure.
at the
It
beginning,
was, yeah.
That
but
was
notice like they are villains on the front of any comic book. They're going to show like the superheroes fighting the villain. But those are no-name villains until they start getting maybe into, 2 minutes into this 4-minute long intro.
Oh, I skipped through a lot of that shit.
No,
You watched it.
I did because I wanted to see who do they start pairing these guys up with. But you actually start to see Spider-Man on the cover. You see Wolverine on the cover. You see Venom on the cover. Now these are their old Marvel character drawings of these guys.
Sure.
It's pretty cool. I think in order to improve this, much like Marvel used to do way back in the day, you don't get introduced to Wolverine in his own comic book. You get introduced to Wolverine through the Hulk. I
Right.
think you have to pair. I really do. I think you have to build a backstory, and you have to do like Marvel does best, is they introduced you to a new character through an existing legacy character, and I don't think they did
That's
any of
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
That's very
I mean, but you can do that in comics a lot easier than you can do it on TV.
I agree.
Unfortunately. But
And I'm sure there's
yeah.
all kinds of rights and the crazy things that they don't want to touch to. But if they're going to do it in the comic series,
Use the same format.
maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's very interesting. Blake, anything you want to add?
No.
No, not at all. All right, well let's get into our final descent then. I think these are out of order.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start
You always
our
say
descent,
that.
please make
Well, it goes
sure your
turbulence,
seatbacks and
landing,
trays
and then
are
final
full.
descent. I think it should go turbulence,
Oh.
final descent, and landing. Right?
Yeah. I'll fix it.
All right. So this is the part of the show where what? Oh, I'm such an asshole.
No.
right?
No. I go, I'll fix that. I looked over at Matt. I go, no.
No, he's not going to do shit with it.
He said F the Lakers.
Yep. F the Lakers.
This is the part of the show where we say, does the world know about the pilot of Power Pack? And if so, have they rated it? Have they left comments? And the answer to both of those is yes.
Really?
IMDb. What does that stand for, Blake?
Internet masturbation detention server.
That's exactly right.
It's like a Rorschach test.
I learn more and more about him every time I ask him
like
what that
staring
is
at
for.
an ink blot test.
Blake is the human.
The
ink blot.
Horseshack
He's
test.
the human ink blot.
Ooh, Mr. Captain!
The human ink blot.
R.I.P. 1 out of
John
10.
Travolta's dead?
Absolutely, he's dead. One, and to me is 1 out of 10. The 10th decimal point being in play. Matthew, what do you think the people from around the world rated Power Pack?
On IMDb.
Yeah.
Boy. I'm going to go with a 3.5.
3.5. Blake?
I'm going to say a 2.6.
Wow, both wrong. Matt's a little closer. It's a 5.0. Wow. Right down the middle.
That feels generous.
This is out of 10, of course, and that's from 85 ratings. People have...
That's a lot of ratings.
For one of our failed pilots, you bet it is. So now we look at some viewer reviews. 3 out of 10. Probably a good thing it never became a full series. The Power Pack pilot, considered a movie by IMDb, is not very fun or entertaining. Maybe it's unfair to judge a show made for kids in 1991, but other shows from that same time and before it still holds water, and to some extent, this one does not. The only highlights in this I can think of are the special effects used on the shrinking power and the super speed power. Both look quite neat compared to the rest of the relatively cheap production.
To me, him lifting up that fish tank was cooler than seeing her take off on her bike with a rainbow
It
behind
looked pretty
her.
good. I thought that looked good.
I thought the orb in her hand as she was watching her kids, or watching those kids outside. You guys remember
Yeah.
that part outside the patio? That was really poorly done.
Yeah.
Like, they almost shouldn't have touched that.
Yeah.
7
Well,
out
at that
of
age, you shouldn't.
Jeez, man.
Can we?
Yeah, well,
Do you guys ever edit the?
We'll edit it out.
Yeah.
That's fine. 7 out of 10 from James Reed. This is from May 27th, 2015. Power Pack gets the Goosebumps treatment. In 1984, Marvel Comics published the first issue of Power Pack, a comic written and drawn by women revolving around 4 siblings that receive powers from a dying alien. After the comic was canceled, this TV pilot was made. The story involves the 4 power siblings, Alex, Julie, Jack, and Katie, moving into a new home, adjusting to a new school, and confronting the ghost of a circus owner. Which I guess I didn't think about it, but I guess that's it.
I get it,
guess
but I
that's
didn't get it.
And one last one here is not bad at all. This is by Y2 J's Walls by August 2nd, 2002, 16 years ago. I enjoyed this movie. It wasn't 4-star quality, but it was enjoyable. As far as I remember, they stuck pretty close to the premise of the Power Pack comics. I think they did a good job, considering they probably didn't have too big a budget, and I really don't think there was a desire or a need in the comic book world for a Power Pack movie to be made back then or now. But if you like comic book movies, then this is the one that should be added to your collection. It was more enjoyable than some other comic book films such as Tank Girl and any Batman films Tim Burton didn't direct. Dare I say, even better than Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. Mind you, this is 2002. How they could mess up an easy story like Punisher is beyond me, but I won't get into that.
This guy's just bitching about Punisher,
Yeah,
right?
he's just
He has nothing to do with Power Pack.
Derailing.
That's pretty much exactly what this is. Yeah. But that's funny because it gives us leeway to give our own ratings.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport.
Love that sweet, sultry voice.
I love it too. Very, very good.
Wonder where she's at.
For your safety and comfort,
Who's to say?
we convenience you with your seatbelt
Who knows?
fastened until the captain is
Who
turned
cares?
off the fasten
Oh boy.
seatbelt sign.
We'll look into the captain's life. This is the end of the show.
Sure.
This is where we rate everything that we just talked about.
Right. We're taking a rating scale from the classic television show Wings, and 1 through 7, 1 being the worst, Roy Biggins, and number 7, Brian Hackett, and there's Faye Yetten and Bob Hackett and Dolph Lundgren in the middle of that.
And Branch Gudgeman.
Right, but it doesn't matter. So we're using, that's our scale. That's how we rate it. Matt, you are a guest. You've been a guest on multiple occasions.
Right.
Is this double digits?
From season 1.
Yeah, is this double digits now?
We're pushing 81.
Yeah, 81.
Almost double digits.
What is your rating for Power Pack?
I want to be generous. I've got a huge soft spot for Marvel,
And you're a big nerd,
and I'm a huge nerd.
right?
I want to be. To be true to myself, though, and to myself be true, I cannot go any higher than one above a Roy Biggins.
Oh,
A 2.
wow, a
wow,
2.
A 2. That's unlike you. You're a very kind
Very
man.
positive. I am.
You're a very positive man with a kind heart.
So in the same breath, I can say that I have a soft spot for Marvel, and part of me feels like, how could they?
Do you feel like that they tainted Marvel's Power Pack?
I'm not familiar with that word.
Okay. I'll show you later.
Were you familiar with Power Pack at all before this?
No, honestly, no, I wasn't. I was a little bit more familiar with what seemed to me a very similar, like the Megamorphs, but that's a whole other thing.
Sure.
But no.
I was not
wasn't-
aware of Power Pack either.
No, but the Powerpuff Girls I was aware of. So.
Sure. What was your favorite Powerpuff Girl?
The black-haired one.
Oh, me too. Buttercup, the green one with the black hair.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
why we do podcasts together.
Really, it just comes down to that.
And you guys just found this out.
Yeah. That's why we continue to stay together.
Captain Philip Rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate Powered Packed?
You guys know I don't like superpower stuff. I don't like Marvel stuff. I don't like nerd stuff.
Yeah. So you love this.
But this got you, it swung you there.
No, it reminded me of a cross between like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Sure.
And some cheesy off-brand. I just didn't like it.
What?
I didn't like it. I'll give it a 2 as well.
Give it a 2 as well. Wow.
Sorry.
Averaging a 2 over here, Jay.
Double dosing down on the 2s. I turn to myself as if a mirror and I say, I will give it a 4.
Wow.
Right down the middle. Unfamiliar with the Power Pack. I have no idea what they are. I watch this and I say, kids could dig this.
Oh, yeah.
Kids, this could be a series. This first episode, not a good representation or true to the comic.
They didn't start off at the right starting
You got to
line.
give the origin, right?
Man.
We don't have the origin. We got a 30-second summary from an omnipotent voice in outer space. That's not enough for me. Computer graphics bad, but fun for the time. Kids want to see superhero powers. This show gave it to them. Not a good story, not a good starting point. I can't go higher than a 4, but I do give it that. And with 2 2s and 1 4, we close the book on Power Pack, and we will never discuss it again.
Most likely never.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of the incredible Robert Baldick. Hilarious. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. An aristocratic Victorian investigator deals with a supernatural mystery traveling from place to place in his personal railway train.
Nice. I like trains.
You can find the entire episode of the incredible Robert Baldick Hilarious by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, period. 1, 2, 3. And then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, and you know what to do, Tube.
Nice. That's great. That's a great line. That's
Thanks,
better
man.
than a Mountain Dew mountain climber thing.
Hey, why don't you go fuck yourself?
You want to contact the show, there's multiple ways. First of all, go to couchpodspodcast.com. That's your one-stop shop. You can listen to all the episodes. You can get emails from there. You can go to all our social medias. Then you can also go to patreon.com/couchpilots. We have 4 different tiers of giveaways for donations. Check that out. But most importantly, and Matt, I don't think you've ever used this, 910 Pilots 1. Jason, what does that translate to?
That is 910-745-6871. The hotline, it be blingin'.
Yeah, we haven't had a call in a while. Call us, talk to us, leave a message, and we will, comment interact on the show. It's a great way to do it, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything.
I've heard a couple really good ones from Lori Garcia. You guys are probably due for one from her.
Love that Lori Garcia.
Let me tell you something
Call in,
about
Lori.
Lori Garcia real quick. if
Did
I
she
can.
ghost you out?
Yep.
Ghost me out?
I haven't heard anything about you talking to her.
I actually haven't talked to her much lately, but I briefly talked to her the other day because when I was walking through the streets of Chicago, I was taking pictures of these. I was in the Latino neighborhood, and they paint their doors on the exterior of their not only their residences but some of the businesses. They paint the exteriors as if they're tarot cards. And if you like tarot cards, check out Lori Garcia on YouTube. She is doing readings on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. Do we have a link?
Let me see if I can dig.
No,
that
I'll
up.
put it in the show notes. Don't worry about it. We don't have time.
Okay.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
And yeah, so give us a call. Check us out. Contact us. You always get frequent flyer points. Matt, you've used frequent flyer points like
I'm even
80
cashing
times.
some in to get to CouchCon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, most people can use it as a discount for their ticket. Actually, okay, Lori Garcia is at Lori Gemini Tarot. So if you're interested in tarot and reading the future, she is a very empathetic person, and she can take your feelings and to put them into card form.
Right. Remember when she did mine?
This is
at
the
your
one
house?
she gave me. It was the Hobgoblin.
No, yeah, actually, she did read your card, read your tarot while you were at my house
on FaceTime.
Absolutely,
It's amazing.
That was awesome. Captain Philip, rest assured, as you drink, what is that you're drinking? Miller Lite?
Yeah.
As you drink your Miller Lite, do you have a message of positivity to our frequent flyers today before we go?
We are a week away from CouchCon.
I'm so pumped. So pumped.
Here's what it is. Pack appropriately, right? Bring the stuff that you know you're going to need. 2 outfits is fine. Bring lube, condoms, autographed pads, lots of Sharpies.
So many pads. Bring
You're-
all the pads.
You're going to meet so many people. You're going to want to get autographs, but most importantly, bring an open mind for a good time.
I like that very much. Matthew, I really think you are breaking records as far as number of visits for one specific person.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Thank you
It's
so much
amazing.
for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having
Thank
me,
you
guys.
very much.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
We're excited to.
Did you notice how I behaved better than he did?
Yeah, I'm trying not to keep score. But
It is
okay.
true. He
Yeah.
did. He really did this time. But if you go back to the last episode you're on, holy crow.
I learned some new words on that one.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to plug while you're here?
Yeah, would you maybe? I wanted to make sure that
Libs?
Matt
You want to plug?
I wanted to plug the homily that I was going to give at the service. Did that make the cut? I know there's the actual there's a service like somebody's getting married at CouchCon, but I would even said on Sunday morning I was willing to do a homily.
What's a homily?
I think that's kind of like a grain in a can.
It's more of a grit. But
yes, a grit.
I
Okay.
was going to give one for the folks in the room that needed to, reconcile, and I was going to
Reconcile with what?
what relationships or I don't know.
Can we go upstairs after this and see how?
Well, it's not ready yet. But
Oh.
I still got a week. To,
Oh,
I
okay.
still got a
I
week
was
to
gonna
give
see
this.
if it worked.
But no. But please, if you're at CouchCon, please come because I'm putting a lot of time into this.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Very yeah.
I love a homily.
I'm very excited for all the homily as well.
Homilia. This pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight. Love everyone.
It's close enough.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again